Carl.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time as we work on the city's business. Just pray for our community, for the safety of our staff, our patrolmen, fire protection that we have from the county and our residents. Be with us as we work on the city's business. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, item C is approve the agenda. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion.
Krista motions.
Second.
Aubrey seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item D, citizen comments. Any of you all that are here would like to speak, I'll give you an opportunity. Okay, since there are none wanting to speak, we shall move on. Item E, this time I'd like to give the council a chance to declare any conflicts or communication they've had that might influence their ability to consider today's agenda items impartially. No, and no. I say nay as well. Moving on to F, we do have it where there are none. Item G, consent agenda. I'd like you to take a look at that, and we'll move on to item I1. Our bond counsel, Kevin Cohen, is there. Good afternoon.
So this item, we don't need that, was commenced this summer. I don't know if you have any recollection of that. Petitions were submitted, resolutions were prepared. Sorry. I'm skipping it. This one is different than the next topic. This is simply an amending petition. The city has received a petition for sanitary sewer improvements, proceeded with acceptance of the petition and authorizing resolution, and actually issued temporary notes for those improvements. And this project is in the bid process, and that during the course of the bid process, we realized the estimated cost, or the developer realized the estimated cost was too low. So there was an estimate, they bid it with a competitive bid. That bid was a little higher than what was contained in the petition and the resolution. And so this action is again a result of a new petition being submitted using the bid amount as the estimated cost. So it's sort of the actual cost used as the estimated cost. And with that new petition, I prepared an amended, restated resolution that will replace the prior resolution, so we get that estimated cost in the correct amount. Again, petition's been submitted and signed by the owner of all the property within the improvement district, which makes it a valid petition. And again, nothing has changed. What the information shown here is still 100% assessed to the affected property owners. 36 lots being assessed, with each lot getting 1/36 of the cost. And then the new estimated cost is $195,000, and that is the only change, which is an increase from $127,000. So in terms of consideration, same as always on these, the resolution, if adopted, will be published and recorded. The city has issued its temporary notes. Those are a full faith and credit obligation of the city, and eventually, once the improvements are complete and assessment proceedings are complete, the city would issue its general obligation bonds. As I mentioned, new petition was submitted, I reviewed it, and then I prepared the amended resolution. So in terms of action, pretty straightforward. You would accept the new petition for the Phase 2 sanitary sewer improvements, and then approve the amended resolution for such improvements. I'd be happy to address any questions.
Questions? Pretty straightforward.
I make a motion that we accept the petition.
I second.
Brent makes the motion, Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll add, we did this a lot a couple of years ago as costs were going up. The good news is we haven't done this in a
That's true.
while, so that seems to have calmed down. The next topic, which is what I started to speak on a moment ago, Arbor Creek South Addition Phase 1 improvements. These petitions were submitted generally middle of the summer. We took those petitions and drafted resolutions, and during the course of that, there were some questions and discussions in particular related to the sewer improvements where there were some oversizing items included and a city at large component. So the city at large was going to pay for the oversizing, and the assessments were roughly going to be 85% assessed, and the city was picking up 15%. And Micah, correct me if I'm misstating anything. I think there has been a lot of back and forth discussion. I'm not sure the city was planning for that when those petitions were initially submitted, so city engineer, others were part of those discussions over the last couple of months. Those have resolved. New petitions have been submitted for the sewer projects with no city at large participation and no oversizing that they were proposing before, as I understand it. So this would be acceptance of the petitions. I referenced petitions were submitted this summer, but they were not accepted because of the questions about the sewer petitions. So those sewer petitions have been thrown out, so to speak. We have new petitions. No changes have been made to the petitions for the other infrastructure improvements. So with that, it's kind of the typical process for this edition. We have a group of petitions to consider for sanitary sewer, stormwater, paving, and water improvements, as well as some off-site water, sanitary sewer main drainage, and water main improvements. Petitions request the improvements. Petitions have been signed by the property owner, the developer in this case. And so that's part of the action today, acceptance of those petitions. And then apportionment of cost, I referenced this a little bit on the sewer, but with those changes on the sewer, these petitions call for 100% assessment of all the infrastructure improvements, no city at large participation. Method of assessment is, as usual, equally per lot. There's a phase 1 component with smaller benefit district, 46 lots for sewer, stormwater, and paving. Water improvements for phase 1, it's 67 lots included. With respect to the offsite water, sewer main, and storm drainage improvements, all 240 lots in this platted addition are to be assessed. So that will cover everybody, every lot in that addition. And then the water main improvements not only will cover all 240 of this addition, but it also benefits 61 lots in Arbor Creek addition. So those get picked up, and it's 301 lots being assessed. So estimated cost, phase 1 sanitary sewer, $400,000, stormwater, $450,000, paving, $611,000. Those are the projects that are being assessed across 46 lots. And then phase 1 water, $466,000 being assessed across 67 lots. And then these are all the off-site or improvements benefiting the entire addition. Water, $467,000, sewer main, $275,000, stormwater drainage, $942,000, and then the water main, additional water main, which also benefits some lots in Arbor Creek addition, is $289,000. As I just stated, financial, you're going to publish each of these resolutions and record them, and then it's anticipated the city would issue its temporary notes to finance the improvements and ultimately issue permanent general obligation bonds once the improvements are complete and assessments, the assessment process has been completed. I reviewed the petitions, they're legally sufficient, and I prepared the resolutions which make findings as to each of those improvements, the estimated cost, and match in every respect each of those petitions. So in terms of actions, it's again as usual, motion, second vote on acceptance of a petition, and then adoption of the authorizing resolution for each of the 8 projects. And I'll stop there.
Motion to accept 1 through 8. And to read them all out.
It's part of the fun of being up here on the bench.
I make a motion to accept the petition for Phase 1 water distribution improvements and approve the resolution authorizing Phase 1 water distribution improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
I second.
Brent motions. Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to accept the petition, Phase 1 sanitary sewer lateral improvements, to approve the resolution authorizing Phase 1 sanitary sewer lateral improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
Second.
Aubrey motions, Brent seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I make a motion to accept the petition for Phase 1 stormwater drainage improvements and approve the resolution authorizing Phase 1 stormwater drainage improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
Second.
Krista makes the motion. Aubrey seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 I make a motion to accept the petition for sanitary sewer main improvements and approve the resolution authorizing sanitary sewer main improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
I second.
Aubrey makes the motion on motion 4. Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I make a motion to accept the petition for off-site water main improvements and approve the resolution authorizing off-site water main improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
Second.
Brent makes a motion on motion 5. Aubrey seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is like city council training school.
I make a motion to accept the petition for stormwater drain improvements and approve the resolution authorizing stormwater drain improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
Second.
Krista makes a motion number 6. Brent seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to accept the petition for water main improvements and approve the resolution authorizing water main improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
I second.
Aubrey makes the motion on number 7. Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will make motion 8. Accept the petition for water main improvements and approve resolution authorizing water main improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition.
Second.
Third.
Fourth.
That's funny. Because number 8 on what I'm reading on my computer is different.
Oh.
I'll read that off the screen. I'll accept motion 8, accept the petition for Phase 1 paving improvements and approve resolution authorizing Phase 1 paving improvements for Arbor Creek South Addition. So I made that motion number 8.
Second.
Brent second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Short.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, I'm going to take a quick break real quick. Going back to the consent agenda, I think I forgot the slide. So that would be why we skipped over it. So I just want to reemphasize that a lot of items in the future will be put back on the consent agenda. So did you guys have any questions about what was on the consent agenda? The item for the August financial report that's on the consent agenda is actually more of a receive and file, so there's nothing that's going to be considered binding by council on that one in particular. But as Craig Crossett, the city administrator, mentioned in the past, we will be trying to put more items on the consent agenda, so we want to make sure that we take a break during and make sure there's anything that you have any questions about the consent agenda. As I said, it's my fault I omitted the slide on accident, so Chief Financial Officer Brooke Carroll did have an August financial report. Was there any questions about that? Did you have any questions about anything on that consent agenda?
I did look through it, Brooke, appreciate the work, it was, well done, and looks like things are in good shape through August.
We're going to try to put more stuff on the consent agenda to help reduce the amount of time spent on the agenda, but we'll try to take a break during those times to make sure that if there's any agenda item on the consent agenda that you want to consider more formally, you can, and so that I'm just taking that breather. But we're going to move on to I3 if there's no questions on the consent agenda or any previous agenda items.
I would just say that going forward, if anyone would have something that they would want to move off the consent agenda, at that point when we're approving it, we could make that
Absolutely.
motion and then bring it out and add it to as an action item. So.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
That's done to the, yeah, you're right, Mayor, it's done to the approval process. So prior to approving the agenda, you need to remove that item from the consent agenda and add it to new business.
Okay, so
Yep.
just another little step in the dance that we get to do.
Yes,
it here, so.
yes.
Yeah, if there is any item on the consent agenda that you would rather consider more formally, then feel free to make that during the approval of the agenda, and we can take it off and just add it formally at the end. This is I3, this is engineering services agreement with Baughman. As the city receives petitions for improvements, as we've just seen with Arbor Creek Phase 1, we issue temporary notes for financing. The engineering firms that design infrastructure submits engineering services agreements, we call them ESAs, to charge a time to the temporary notes for work done during that phase of development. Baughman has submitted an ESA for Casey's development, which is Goddard City Center Edition. You see that in your agenda, as well as 167th West Edition and 23rd South development. City Council is now considering approving the ESA for these projects such that the work can begin with financing once the financing is in place. City Council is reviewing engineering services agreement with Baughman for the following projects: Goddard City Center Edition, Second Edition, which is water, sanitary sewer, and paving. That's for Casey's. 167th West, which is water, paving, Phase 1, sanitary sewer, and stormwater. 23rd South and 23rd South Edition, which has to deal with the water main and the pump station as well, which is the lift station that's going to serve both 23rd South and 167th. Financially and non-legally, it's approved as a form by Robert $14 Morris Lane. It is recommended that the council approve the engineering services agreement with Baughman for the Goddard City Center Edition, 167th West Edition, Phase 1, 23rd South Edition, and 167th Edition water main pump station, and 23rd South Edition, Phase 1. Feel free to ask about any of these projects. 167 is 155 lots, 23rd South is about 215 lots. So if you have any questions about land use composition, where those stations will be, etc., feel free to ask. But these allow Baughman to charge the design services and the contracting services. So when they do bids and bid openings and pre-cons, things of that nature, they can charge their time towards the temp notes. And so that's just something to be aware of.
So pretty straightforward. Any questions? Anybody want any beef jerky?
Yeah, it's gonna be gone here in a minute if you don't hurry. It's,
So there are no questions.
We're gonna get a dim run for that day.
I'd entertain a motion to approve this.
I make a motion to approve the engineering services agreement with Baughman for the Goddard City Center at 167th West Edition, Phase 1, 23rd South Edition, and 167th Edition water main and pump station, and 23rd South Edition, Phase 1.
Chris has made the motion, I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. This is the engineering services agreement with MKEC for Arbor Creek South Phase 1. So as the city receives petitions, as mentioned before, for improvements, we issue temporary notes for financing. Engineering firms and design construction submits the engineering services agreement, ESA, to charge their time to the temporary notes for work done during the phase of development. MKC has submitted an ESA for Arbor Creek South Development Phase 1. City Council is not considering approving the ESA for this project such that the work can begin when financing is in place. So these are some of the things that will be getting charged to it. So I thought this was kind of interesting to outline. This helps us kind of fully understand more of the development process and what the city council, their functions and duties and obligations. It's when you're approving an ESA, and then this is what MKC is saying they're going to be charging to the temp notes, so they get lump sum amounts for these as it breaks down. And you can see here that this is payments for the consultant for the design phase engineering services. So this is for designing the infrastructure, which is interesting. So plating is at large, the city, not the city, but the developer has to pay for that out of pocket. So all the stormwater engineering in terms of how much you're gonna detain, plating, reserves, how many lots they can get out of it, where they're gonna put the roads, that's all out of pocket by the developer. But when they design the infrastructure, since it's being dedicated to the city, the water, the sewer, the roads, etc., since those are being dedicated to the city, they charge it to the temp nodes. And so it's kind of interesting to see that play out. So what you see here is a design phase of engineering as well as consultation for construction phase. And so you're going to see a breakdown which would include a similar amount for each petition that's being received, but also it comes with staking or where the roads are going to go. They're going to stake the lots and everything else, and they have plot plans that go with it, so they charge their time to that. So basically the city's agreeing that they're going to pay the developer for this amount out of the temp notes. Financially, non-legally, it's approved as a former Robert Lincoln on Forest Lane. It should be noted that we did, in the past, there was concerns about liability. There was, in some of these engineering services agreement, they would put in a limit to their liability. And so that's come up before. We spoke with our attorney about that. He wanted us to remove that provision. So we told that to the engineering firms, do not limit the amount of your liability. And so they removed them. So now there's no limits on their liability. If they hit a gas line and everything explodes, they will be liable for that. It is recommended the City Council approve the engineering services agreement with MKBC for Arbor Creek South Phase 1. Each phase you'll see in your engineering service agreement, you have to reapprove it, because each time you're approving, paying them for that design and contracting.
You guys, any questions, Aubrey, Brent,
No.
Kristen?
I'll make a motion to approve the engineering service agreement with MKEC for Arbor Creek South Phase 1.
I'll second that motion.
Aubrey's made the motion, Brent seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Micah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am making this report on behalf of our State Administrator, Craig Crossett. As you know, he is at the ICMA conference out in Pittsburgh, and so we wish him return on his trip home, and he should be back tomorrow. So I'll go over these items that he has provided to council. First, the city has is making a second attempt at applying for funding through the Water Infrastructure Grant through the Kansas Water Office, or KWO. Again, this would help subsidize the city rural water cross connection project. So again, in the spring round, the state had received over 300 applications, totaling more than $380 million in project requests, and the state only had $17 million available. So again, we'll see how that goes this time around for funding. We're excited to announce that there's going to be a first ever Tri-Gov joint meeting that'll be held on Wednesday, October 16th at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. There'll be officers from the school board, USD 265, the superintendent, Justin Henry, and the CFO, Doug Maxwell, will join members of City Council and the Planning Commission to discuss the school district's recently completed Davis demographic study and the city's updated Hoffman housing study. So again, that is October 16th at 6 p.m. Craig has mentioned this before in the past, but again, Premier Well is offering a discount to Goddard residents to take advantage of some discounts in terms of digging new residential wells for irrigation. The flat rate price is a flat rate pricing no matter depth. However, there are some variables that he mentions here in the staff report. So take those variables into consideration. Also, just to mention again that the city is not endorsing Premier, and this is just an opportunity to bundle services to get a discount. Of course, customers need to do their due diligence to confirm that they're comfortable with the contractor and the services offered. As a preview, during the next City Council meeting on October 7th, there'll be an annual goals check-in, so we'll be reviewing goals at the next City Council meeting. The Ad Hoc Water Committee had their second meeting last night here at City Hall. Those meetings are, both meetings that we've had have gone very well, have been very productive discussions, and also disseminating information regarding the city's water infrastructure and goals for the future. That committee meeting does meet usually on the fourth Monday of the month between now and April, with the exception of not having a meeting in December. That will normally be held here at City Hall at 7 p.m. I will let the council know that our next, our monthly meeting in October, that's going to be a public works tour where we're going to look at the water infrastructure of the city. And so that meeting, rather than starting at 7, is going to start at 5:30. The city is going to rent a big 12-passenger van for all the committee members, and that tour will be led by our public works director, Brooke Brandenburg. And so that will start at 5:30, but besides that, normally they will be at 7 o'clock here in this room. Again, we do publish the agendas as well as the notes. Those are found on the city's website. And then, per the mayor's request, he had requested that there be updates by the committee at regular intervals. And so on October 21st, during that city council meeting, the chair of the committee and myself will present a brief report during the presentation section to city council. During the month of August, the city issued 9 total residential building permits, with 9 of those being for 2-family and 2 for single-family. That equates to a total of 20 new living units for families. That valuation was just over $3 million and resulted in just under $88,000 in permit fee revenue. In regards to roadway projects, North Frontage Road and First Street, those are being worked on at this time, and Second Street has been completed. Craig does note in his report that there was a cracked sidewalk panel that will be replaced by Pearson, and the city will also coordinate the replacement of a culvert on 2nd Avenue as well. The linear park lighting project materials have been delivered. Ready Industries is working on the boring as well as trenching, and then Evergy is scheduled to install the bases, lights, poles, and make connections on September 25th through the 7th. That's tentative right now. That's when they're supposed to be here, which will be done before Fall Festival. An update on the SCADA project. Responses to the RFP, those are due October 4th. Recommendations and information to city staff on October 30th, and the recommendation for bid award to city council during the November 4th city council meeting. And then talking about Fall Festival, the theme for this year is Down on the Farm. It will be held on the weekend of October 12th. Staff does thank the Chamber of Commerce as well as the Fall Festival Committee for their work in planning this event. Regarding the North Park project, the Park Planning Committee will meet on October 28th. They'll be finalizing Phase 1 schematic design, and then on November 18th, the master plan and schematic design presentation will be given to you, City Council. And again, you can visit the North Park story map on the city website under the Community tab. And then lastly, some upcoming agenda items. During the October 7th City Council meeting, we'll have the public hearing as well as to discuss the development agreement for the Goddard Apartments. Again, those will be built north of the Sandbox. A master fee schedule amendment, engineering service agreement, review the roadway CIP, an ordinance for community improvement fee. The single holder trash public hearing will be held on that date, and then code changes for street closures and sound waivers. So just a preview of things to come during the next city council meeting. More than happy to I stand for any questions that you might have on behalf of our city administrator. All right, thank you.
Very good, thank you, Brian. Comments from the bench. Krista.
The community garden looks great. They put pavers down and worked very hard. Looks really nice. Yeah.
Are you stealing my thunder?
Oh,
That's
sorry.
okay. Subject's so nice, we'll get to hear it twice. Brett, comments?
I was just thinking about that ad hoc committee. You probably need to change your name
What do you recommend?
so they don't spit on that thing.
Good to know.
I appreciate the beef jerky that you brought. Citizen comments were awesome today. And, just honored to be here with you guys and love seeing the progress we're making.
Very good. Anything else? That's good. I too would want to mention the community garden. First off, Naomi Leonard and Deb Dugan spent their whole day Saturday from about 8 in the morning till the storms hit at about 4:30. There was a morning group, Shelby and Russ Lowen, Amanda and Greg Treadwell, Angela Smith and her 2 sons. clearing out the weeds and the brush and spreading the topsoil that the city provided. The Girl Scouts painted a mural on the south side of the building that was designed by Sydney Westfall, and she's also got a design for the north side, which includes some of the sites of Goddard, including like the water tower and everything. It's really a really neat design, both sides. And then J.P. Williams from Brady Nursery for showing up at 11:30 and along with Naomi and Deb doing the back-breaking work of chiseling out and laying all those stone pavers in place. Very well done, looks really good. Naomi and Deb deserve, kind of like an MVP award for the sacrifice in that work. I'm sure they both slept very well Saturday night. So, but I did want to recognize them and everyone that's provided support. The Girl Scouts, Leah Ellis and those girls painting the mural. They got more paint on the mural than they did on themselves, which is always a good deal when you have little kids playing with paint. So that's just another instance within our community right now where people in the community have pulled together to increase the quality of life. And it's another nice thing now that we have in Goddard. So I appreciate all the people that worked on that this weekend. So, and I guess there are other plans and it will continue to expand. Look forward to seeing their next ideas and see how it gets accomplished. So,
What side is that on?
South Millennium Park,
The south side?
up off of Walnut, we're on the west end.
No, the side they painted.
Oh, they painted the south side of the shed.
Oh.
And the north side is where the next mural is, kind of with the different things in the community. And I think they're talking about putting up a gazebo or something too, so.
Whatever happened to our bridges?
They're working on them.
They're still working on them.
Oh, the lighting, I wanted to say too, the lighting is starting to look nice. It's exciting to see that
Yeah,
we're gonna have lighting around there.
tomorrow hopefully, if
Mhm.
weather holds. No, a lot of great things happening. Staff, appreciate all your hard work. We continue to press on, just a day at a time, making life better for our community and our citizens. So I thank you for all your efforts. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Krista makes a motion, Aubrey seconds, 34 minutes and 55 seconds. This meeting is adjourned.